What is going on, everybody? I'm Novo coming at you with another one. It's been a while since I did Bombardier, and I think we're very close to this pullback being done. Let's just zoom in a little here. So we got in a long time ago down around this sideways movement as we consolidated. I got a bit of lag on the computer here. Yeah, during this sideways movement, and then we had the pop out on the MACD, and then the consolidation. So I think what I did is I waited for the pop. Oh, the lag. Hang on a sec. Yeah, I bought the first candle here, and I think I bought it on the bounce again. I don't remember. I just remember I bought 500 at 43 and 48, and this thing has been running. And then I sold. Where did I sell? Um, November 11th. November 11th. Down around, yeah, I think it was right about here where this red started off. So I sold at $1.95, and I've been buying on the way down again. I'm looking for another buy, but because this structure here got broken, I decided to wait. You can see there is support, 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 and then the shorters were going to start coming in. Looks like a stop loss hunt before they reversed and came back down, came back up to test. Now, I don't know if this is support and this is a higher low and we're going to continue again, but because the MACD is starting to curl over and it's under the zero cross, I'm more bearish. We've got red weak candles, which makes me even more bearish. And we will zoom out and have a look and see if we can find any support structures here. So, yeah, I think the last time I did a video was this. And now we are looking at support. Why did I draw that? Let me have a look. I'm thinking gann fan. I think I know what I did. Yeah, the 2-to-1 here, and then the support being broken, and then probably looking down here for future support. Where was that? So I think right here, following this trend line. So it popped up to test the 1/2, came down to the 1-to-1, and now we're looking at support along here. And we did have the dip on the line here. So we've seemed to have found a new support level, which means this is going to be some resistance coming up in the future that we need to overcome. Right now, we're just sitting on it as support. If it breaks down, we'll be looking for a higher low compared to this guy right here. And our best bet would be, let's delete this, get that out of the way. I'm looking at this peak right here. So if we were to come down and bounce right about somewhere around here, that would be our higher low. And then we would have to test for a higher high. If we do break this, we're likely going to see resistance right about there during the move. So what does that look like? I'm not going to make it exact, but we've got here to here to right about there. And then we need to break this. And it's likely not going to be exactly that angle. We'll have to divide it in half and maybe consider that. So sometime in the summer, maybe going up that way. Oops. At which point we'll come back down and test this, and then we come up and maybe test that. Okay. And then if we do that, we can see the, where is it here? We can see the good old consolidation bowl that's happening here, right? Like so. So if we do see support here, that's what we're going to do in order to test. And if this bowl does play out the way it is, it's a bit jagged, so I'm not sure if that's the correct length. We're looking at possibly the Santa Claus rally. And then if we break, then we start testing, what is that, 225, 230 for support. Okay, so that's what we're looking at when we're in a myopic kind of view. Now we're going to go over to monthly, and I want to draw your attention to the long-term thing. And it's basically this. We'll forget about the MACD for now and zoom in on these bad boys. So there's a convergence of two trend lines that are going to meet around next year, summer next year. And I mean, price is way down here. I'm just thinking in the future, further resistance, maybe the end of that final huge rally. We've got this line here, and this is a bit off. Maybe it shows up better as log. Actually, let's go to log because the traders look at log too. Yeah, there we go. It's kind of the same thing. So this consolidation zone, this price seems a bit sensitive, and then a test of support with a breakdown, and then resistance, and we came back down, rolled up again, resistance. So I think this line might be more important, but because we have two, I think price might have to wait a bit, and it would have a better chance at attacking higher highs if that's even possible. I think this thing split many times. Go over to Japanese candlesticks. That might be more visible to you. I'm not sure. But right now, so we're testing here. What would be the next big one? So we got resistance here. And if we look left, we can see the resistance that we were playing with, right? 1, 2, some action here before it broke down, some resistance here before it found support, and then it came back down, tested, resistance, broke through, support, gave up the ghost. So that seems to be a 222 seems to be a price point that we need to watch out for, and that might be this zigzag happening here. So wherever these moves go, these are very microscopic compared to the long term on the monthly. So 222 might be the next test to break through, and then support for a continuation. Going to weekly, now that we've got those two price points, let's have a look. And that kind of jives with what we've got here, right? This is what we were talking about, the support, came back down, support again. Let's delete these guys here for a sec. And now we kind of punch through and we're testing to see if we're support again. But remember, the red candles are weak momentum candles. They traditionally end up dying. The green candles are higher MACD, higher volume, higher volatility, and higher momentum heading upwards. And now we're just getting into red candles again. If I go to bars, it'll look a lot clearer, right? So we could be heading into a continuation to the downside. I do like this pop down here. So I want to say, if you're looking to add to your position, I would definitely watch this point here to see if we come down and do a double bottom, and if we follow this tangent here. One more line to draw, and it is this guy right there. So I guess in a way, this might be a little off. So as we get closer to this junction here, I think more and more traders are going to start watching that. And depending on where we are in the MACD, it might give us an idea as to if it's going to break down and continue down, or if we're going to consolidate and eventually head on up again. So the big thing right now is the MACD and APO are both just hitting the zero line. The histogram, I do like this. So this is kind of bullish for me, where we have, a large movement to the downside, and then a smaller movement to the downside, which may give a little more energy for the MACD to cross positive again. So this might be a brief section of low powered candles before we consolidate and head back up. So that's looking bullish to me. The fact that this had such a stellar run, and now we're creating a bit of a flag. What happens when there is a resting period? There is a continuation, or a higher percentage of continuation. And if that's the case, we look at this run, and wherever this ends up, the next run would probably go and challenge that point that we're looking at. So it looks like, actually, let's go back to get a gann box in here for a second. And what do the gansters say? So roughly about here, and we square off to about here. We're in log, sorry. Let's go back to normal. Auto. There we go. Okay, kind of even that off. So we've squared off the range, and we're looking for a 45-degree angle. And look at the beautiful retracement right down to the 0.5. So this seems to be kind of all pointing to right about here. So it could be the doldrums of the summer, and then we start rolling up again. So I think once we go sideways and we start rolling up, we'll see more people stepping up to buy on the way up. So it could be that's what's going on. If I tweak this down a little, let's put this down a little more. And like so. Get rid of that for a second. Stick that right about there. This is the zone that we'll be looking at. We need to stay above this 50%. If we break through, the next point will likely be, where are you? Testing this this pip here. Right now we found support. We tried it, and we're back up. So need to stay above the what is that, 130? Did I say? Yeah, 125, 130. I'd like to see it stay up above that. If we go down and test, you may see some buyers start to step in, but I mean, it all depends on volume. Excuse me. Henkanashi candles, what do they say? Roughly the same thing, right? Henkanashi averaging up, and then let's turn off the MACD here so we get true colors. Yeah. So green, red, a little sideways green, a continuation red, a little sideways green, and now we're going to see if we're going to go up. I think a test again of red. So we got A, B, C. I believe is that the way it works, and then we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. So looking good, I think, in the short term. In the long term, we're going to see that resistance way up there, but that's way up there. Anyway, hopefully you found that useful. Oh yes, before I end the video, everybody always sends me a private message on how I set up my GAN box because it's not as complicated as the other ones. I'm not sure what's happening here. I got like some serious lag. Anyways, so the standard GAN box has a lot more lines. GAN always used these. And if you go to settings, you'll see that I've turned off everything. The only thing I have on the time levels, so the verticals, I have 0 is checked off, which is this bar right here. I have 0.5 checked off, which is this portion here. And if I wanted to make that green like I did with this guy, I just go over here and call that my halfway point, and you can see how I light it up. But it's important that you put 0 here. If you put like, I think it has like 0.25. Once you do that, oops, 0.25. Is it 0.25? 0.25. Did it show it? Yeah. Starts adding this guy right here, right? And if I did it up here, it would add it along this vector here as we head off. So the important thing is these become 0, and the only line you want is the halfway point, the 0.5. And if you want to do that one, but I never bother with that. I just stick with that 0.5. And the reason for that is I look for that 50% retracement when you square off the range. So we have a run and a pullback. A healthy pullback with a continuation is finding support above 50% of the way on the run before we take off. And then when you square this off, usually one of these tangents will tell you which way it's going to go. If it's really aggressive, it'll be like something like that. Where are you? Something like that. It's kind of rare for that to happen. Uh, I do like when it goes up about halfway. So what you kind of do is bring it down here, and then it's trying to find the intersection. I can't remember where it is. Right there. So between this corner and this intersection here. And if that's the case, again, that's the same argument for the consolidation, right? The lowest point that you don't want to go under technically is this, because everything under this 45-degree angle is considered bearish until we continue up above that, or half of these two intersections, which is this guy right here. And we are testing it as we speak. The problem is when all the quants out there, oh, I can't get that down there. The resistance, the mirrored resistance that we need to watch out for, that I think price is worried about. Can't seem to grab it. Let me just start with a new one. Sorry if this is driving people crazy. But this is half of that 45, right? So we're waiting to see where this little consolidation zone goes, if it continues down so that we consolidate that way, or if it continues up to find support so that this becomes a mirror image of what's down here. And I'm running out of time. So trade safe.